Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. This is episode 13, and today we are starting next to this catastrophic failure. This absolute catastrophic failure, thanks to me being a complete and utter moron. For those of you who saw the previous episode of Hermitcraft, you will know that that gap there is the most frustrating gap in the history of mankind. Basically, this flying machine, it came along and it grabbed that slab. Now, that wouldn't seem like a big deal, but that is the slab that blocks the front of the observer. So that slab being there meant that no sand could be pushed across, or it meant that this flying machine wasn't working properly. I don't really know what it caused, okay? But it meant that the sand got blocked up in front of this observer right here, which meant that the observer no longer detected new sand, which meant that I could no longer place sand, which meant that all of the sand that was in all of those chests right there was being dropped out onto the floor. My inventory filled up, and then the floor filled up, and then, well, after 5 minutes, everything started to despawn. I have no clue how much sand I lost in the process, but it's probably about 40, maybe 30, maybe 50,000, maybe 60,000, to be honest with you, I don't know, but it was a lot of sand. It was so much sand. Oh, so many hours have been spent. Anyway, aside from that, I've kind of got over it at this point. I think what we're going to do in today's Hermitcraft episode is we're going to triple check this thing, then we're going to head over to Impulse's base, and we're going to pick up some of his sand because he's kindly lending me some, which is very brave considering, you know, my track record. And then we're going to try our best to fill in this area to start things off. It's about time. So Impulse, I am now trading your sponges for your sand. I don't think I'm a very good friend. Oh gosh, I'm holding pretty much all of Impulse's sand and a bunch of false symmetry shulker boxes. I do not want this to go wrong. I do not want this to go wrong. I can never kill ghasts. Why do I not carry a bow? I do not want to fall into the lava or alternatively punch a zombie pigman. Hopefully this guy's just left me alone. I think I'm going to try and go through the nether. We're actually doing pretty well in terms of sand quantities right here. I would say with any luck, we should hopefully be able to cover the entire ocean monument, or at least like 99% of it. I think we have just a handful more chests to go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 above this, which may not seem like much. Okay, only 4 double chests, but that's like an hour's worth of sand mining. But I will do that if necessary. So we'll just chuck in these final ones right here, and that should just about do it. I think it's about time that I start placing some sand, and I'm going to keep a very watchful eye on this monitor to see if anything goes wrong. Now, I just thought I would do a super fast time lapse of the entire process of all of the sand placing. This isn't really something that I was planning on doing, but part of me just wanted to see what the whole process looked like super sped up. So I'm going to condense about 16 hours worth of footage, probably down to the length of 1 minute. So this is going to be ridiculously fast, and hopefully you should be able to see all of the sand being placed as long as the machine doesn't break. If the machine breaks again, I think I'm actually going to quit Minecraft, leave the Hermitcraft server, set fire to my computer, set fire to my house, and, I don't know, maybe order a nuke in or something just to pinpoint my house and just hit that. And then, of course, send a big apology to Impulse SV for wasting all of his sand. So there's quite a lot of things riding on this. You know, my YouTube career, my Minecraft career, and everything like that. So, fingers crossed, to the best of my ability, this thing actually functions. Yeah. Let's find out. Oh, we did it, we did it, we did it! Look! We've actually got all of the sand in. Oh my word, I was not we've got it, apart from like this tiny little section right here and this section over here. That's like 10 seconds of sand placing. We've managed to actually do it. I'm over the moon. I'm so happy that A, I've actually finished it, and B, oh, look at that as well. Very happy that I placed in those chests. Perfect quantity of chests. Look at that. Oh, and there's my dude. I can't believe it. We've actually done it. I'm over the moon. I am so happy. I'm so happy. I've got the biggest smile on my face. I can barely talk. You know when you got one of those smiles that is just really... Yes! Oh, it's finally done. It is finally done. Right, let's hop back onto the main account. We've got a little bit of extra sand to place, and then obviously we have to remove all of the sand that is right here, which may seem ridiculous, but thankfully it's not too difficult, as you can just place in the torches and then you just crack on through. Awesome, 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 awesome. I'm gonna just stand around and laugh for a bit. Just give me a couple seconds. And that, my friends, is pretty much that. There we go. So, this entire area is now filled in with sand. Awesome. I'm so glad we've managed to do that, but now all we have to do is we're actually going to need to go right the way down to the bottom, all the way down. How far does this thing go? Right, all the way down to here, and we need to start wiping out all of this stuff, and the way that I'm going to do that is by doing that, which is arguably one of the most satisfying things in all of Minecraft. Oh, I'm actually going to need to clear up some inventory space here. Woo! That was close. That was very, very close indeed. I don't have any armor or anything on. And I jumped in thinking I had a elytra. Anyway, we need to clear out all of the sand. That is a very simple process. You just have to place in a bunch of torches and the sand will fall. Now, I think this would look amazing as a time lapse. At the risk of doing too many time lapses in one video, I just can't help myself here. Now, I was originally going to do a music time-lapse for this one, because according to Ilmango's video, this process should only take about 45 minutes. Now, I don't know if I was doing something very wrong, but it definitely didn't take 45 minutes. It ended up taking about 3.5 hours, which is quite starkly different to 45 minutes. So what I've decided to do instead is I've actually done a mini Q&A session. So we're going to have like a tiny little Q&A session for like 2 or 3 minutes, right in the center of this Hermitcraft episode. So, the first question that I have got from Twitter, which if you want to be involved in this sort of thing in the future, be sure to follow me on Twitter at @thatmumbojumbo. But the first question that I have received is from Armo03, who said, why don't you play modded or in a single player world? Now, I've answered the modded thing quite a few times. For me personally, the fun of Minecraft is actually like problem solving as opposed to grinding and crafting, which I find most of modded tends to be, or at least that's my personal experience. And also, I don't know, I love vanilla. I wouldn't really want to change it too much. But the single player world is a question I get quite often, and it kind of confuses me because, I mean, I play on the Hermitcraft server. That is like my Let's Play series. A lot of people ask me to start up a single player series, and I hate to tell you, but it wouldn't be any different from Hermitcraft. It would be pretty much the same thing. Be exactly the same projects. I just wouldn't have as much time to spend on either of them, so the quality of both series would be less. It wouldn't be particularly good as just one series of Hermitcraft. The reason that I do 3 Hermitcraft episodes a week is because that gives me enough time to kind of spend like 2 days on each episode fairly comfortably whilst working around the Redstone videos. So I think adding anything extra to that really would stretch me a little bit thin, and the videos would just end up being a tiny bit rubbish. Which kind of brings me on to the next question by Zemundal Gaming, who asked, why don't you do more series? And it kind of follows the same thing. These series that I do, the Redstone videos and then the Hermitcraft episodes, is pretty much what I enjoy, and that allows me to focus all of my time and effort into producing those videos. Adding anything else, A, I don't think I'd enjoy it as much, but B, it would stretch me a little bit too thin and I wouldn't be able to focus on those things. That being said, the filming channel is kind of a series in itself. So I suppose I have that going on as well, and I spend a lot of time and effort on that. But as I said, I'm not going to be adding too much into the mix just because I'm very happy with the balance right now, and I feel like I've got a good quantity and also a very good quality as well. The Ninja Wolf has asked, where do you see yourself in your career in 5 years' time? That's a really good question, because I find myself asking myself that pretty much every single day. As far as history shows, about 99% of YouTubers, they don't stick around forever. There's a few that kind of like battle it out and they stay on top of things, but most kind of fade away. And I've been trying to think, you know, what am I going to be doing? What am I going to be doing? Now, in an ideal world, I would still be making YouTube videos. I love making YouTube videos, but I think realistically, I'm still going to be producing some form of video content. I love producing videos, whether that's for YouTube, I don't know, maybe I could be working for a company, or maybe I could be running a production company, who knows, okay, I won't quite step that far, but there's plenty of things that are possible here, and I've picked up a lot of skills from doing this YouTube thing, in terms of organization, in terms of actually producing content, in terms of marketing myself, managing myself, and everything like that, managing other people. All those things kind of come together to mean that I have got a skill set that could be applied in a number of different areas, and I guess time will tell what happens next. If the perfect job comes up, then I'll be sure to take it. Now, there was one more question I was going to answer, but I think we've gone on for long enough, so I think let's pop back onto the Hermitcraft server. Now, I must admit, I have recorded a few other progress updates and everything like that after doing this time-lapse, but in typical Mumbo Jumbo fashion, I made a bit of a mistake. Basically, when I'm recording my time-lapses, I record them at like 10 frames a second or so, just to save on space, because that was a 3-hour long time-lapse. Okay, that was 3 hours of actual in-Minecraft time, and if I record at 60 frames a second, that would probably be about a terabyte. Now, I don't have infinite storage in my PC, I certainly do not, and I can't really afford to be having 1 terabyte time-lapses just kind of sitting around, but in my excitement at finishing, well, I had finished most of it. I had finished it up to this block right here. In my excitement in finishing it, I just hit record and started going, and it was recorded at 10 frames a second, which does not look very good, I have to say. It's not a brilliant looking thing, but here we are. This is it. Look at that. We have got ourselves pretty much a fully cleared out ocean monument. Now, the reason that we haven't cleared out this area right here is simply because you see those structures there, they have water in them, and it was being a bit of a pain in the backside to clear out, and to be honest with you, I was getting a little bit tired, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to leave that for the time being. I fancy a little bit of a change of pace, I fancy doing something a tiny bit different, and I noticed, I don't know if you just saw, but there was some guardians actually sitting around in here, and it turns out I have managed to miss off a pretty large section of the ocean monument. I think all of the water on the outside of this thing might still be there, or it's one of the outskirts, basically. I've missed out a full outskirt, which means I'm going to have to do a lot of segmenting and a lot of sponge placing. So I'm going to have to politely ask Impulse once again if I am able to access his sponges and borrow them quickly so that I can get this thing fully cleared up. Because you can see Guardian there and Guardian there, so I might have missed both outskirts, which is pretty ridiculous. But yeah, very happy with how we've come to this place. It's looking fantastic. A lot of work, but I'm really glad that we're just kind of flying through and knocking off all the jobs. Let's pick up some sponges and do some more water clearing. It's basically all I do nowadays. Here is the man himself, and here is his wonderful sponges. Thank you ever so much. He has basically been the saviour of this project. I lost my sand, he provided some. I lost my sponges, he provided them. He's a top guy. Now, one thing that I have just thought is that because I have cleared out all of the water in the ocean monument, I'm going to make a pretty big assumption that there are going to be guardians everywhere. And I've just said that and gone into a room that is completely empty of guardians, so maybe I might be wrong. I have totally forgotten how to do this whole sponge placing thing. I have just used a full set of sponges, all of the sponges that I have, on one room. Just the one room. That is not an efficient way to do things in the slightest. Oh man. Now, one thing about these guardians is that my armor is taking an absolute beating from it. I have almost lost pretty much everything. And I have repaired my elytra, by the way. I've seen your comments down in the comment section. I can now fly again. But yeah, we're going to repair this up and then we'll get back to placing in the sponges. I think finally we might actually manage to be able to clear out this monument today. That'd be great. I think, and I'm going to say this with some level of confidence, I have now cleared out the full ocean monument, maybe? It's so difficult to know. So I've cleared out all of this section. We've got the full section over here. All of this was filled to the brim with water. I honestly don't know how I missed all of this while I was doing it. And, oh, really? Okay, this is a really small room, so we could be able to do this in a couple sponges here. What? There's more? Oh, for goodness sake! Okay, I am definitely not done. I am definitely not done. There is so much water and so many guardians. Jeez. That is like all the guardians that can possibly spawn in an ocean monument have now spawned in that top section. Oh, man. Well, this is going to be interesting, to say the least. All of the water is now gone from the inside of the ocean monument. So this thing is now completely cleared. If there is any water on the inside, then, well, let's just say that we're going to find it. Because I'm now going to head back over to my base, and I'm going to pick up my Haste 2 Efficiency whatever beacon, whatever you call that thing. And I'm actually going to get rid of the entire temple. I don't want any of this stuff here. It's not going to be featuring in the build. So every single block is going to be removed, which means that we're going to have ourselves a ton of prismarine, but also a ton of space to work with as well. I feel like we're doing a great job at just clearing things in today's Hermitcraft episode. This is like the big clearathon. I had forgotten how much fun it is to just clear out areas with Instamite. I've been doing it with sand for so long that I forgot what it's like to actually do it with a pickaxe. And it is glorious. Hopefully the haste actually reaches to the other side of the ocean monument. And hopefully I don't actually require the ocean monument. I don't think I do. Oh, ZF. Bless your heart. Guys, I'm sort of thinking something here. I mean, you know, at the risk of sounding quite repetitive, I feel like this could look quite good as a time lapse. I feel like this could be like a really good time lapse. Me destroying the full ocean monument. Yep, let's boot up the second account. And this time, I think we're actually going to have music for once. Yeah, I'm going to have to try and find myself some tunes. And then we can use some of those. This is it, guys, the final stages of the takedown process. Once you've taken out all of the cobblestone that I actually placed on the inside here, you can kind of just fly through and wipe out massive areas really quite quickly. Because obviously all of this is on a flat floor. We've got the entire flat floor making up the bottom of this thing. So I've never been so excited to take out final blocks. There we go. There's those ones. And then, of course, oh, we do have this thing. We do have this thing. But, wow. Like, to think, and this, I don't know, I feel like this is the most obvious amount of progress I think I've ever made in a Hermitcraft episode. Because if you go back 17 minutes in this video, this entire area was filled with water and there was an ocean monument there that was also partially filled with water. In 17 minutes, we have cleared out this entire area. We've then cleared out all of the sand. We've cleared out all of the water on the inside of the ocean monument. And then we've cleared out the ocean monument itself. I mean, what on earth? I've spent like 2 whole days on this. But still, what on earth? Wow. Okay, I think what I'm going to do now is... Do I have haste on this shovel? I still don't have efficiency on my shovel. What I might do is I'm going to go and grab some efficiency shovels from the chest that I have over here. I'm fairly certain I should hopefully have like a handful of shovels from the whole sand mining experience. There's a chance though that they're over by the mining desert. Yeah, did I not bring them back? I don't honestly know. I can't remember. No, it doesn't look like I've brought any of them back. Okay, I'm quickly going to head off. I'm going to do a tiny bit of enchanting. So we're going to have to head over to the Ender Render. We'll do a tiny bit of enchanting here. I want to get Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 4 on my shovel. I feel like that's probably a smart thing to do anyway. And then we can clear out the final little bits. Yeah, the final little bits of sand. The clearing episode. Now I'm really hoping that this thing has Unbreaking 3. Please have Unbreaking 3. That would be absolutely fantastic. 1, 2, 3. And... yes! Yes, Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 4. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. That is the shovel for me. Let's get rid of this rubbish one and head back over to our infamous mining thingamajig monument thing. I'm losing the ability to speak today. Now I can't help but feel like having Efficiency 4 earlier on when I was doing all of the sand clearing actually would have made life a little bit faster. Hang on, I want to try something out here. Switch that out and... no, actually, I think it would have ruined things. I don't know. Maybe. I didn't have any enchantments on my shovels or anything like that. For the first half of it, I wasn't even using a shovel. I was literally doing this. I was going... like that, basically. Which, it's not too bad, but then again, even that was with haste. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I might have wasted a bunch of time. Anyway, all of the sand is pretty much cleared out. Now we just need to take out the rest of the structure. And that is it. So that actually wasn't too bad. We managed to clear out all of the water. There was only like a few little chunks of water right there. So it wasn't actually as bad as I was expecting. Let's try our best to actually get our shovel back. But there we go. Now I have to say, underneath this, there is a massive body of water. But as far as I can tell, there doesn't actually seem to be any guardians spawning there. I don't know if that's a thing. But I think for the time being, I am just going to leave it. Because I am pretty happy with how much I've managed to do in today's Hermitcraft episode. I mean, look at that. I feel like that should probably be the thumbnail for the video itself. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, this has been a fantastic project so far. Obviously, in the near future, I am going to be working on the Guardian farm itself. So we are going to be creating the farm right in the center right there. And then, of course, we're going to build up the base around it, which is all extremely exciting. I mean, I'm so excited for all of this stuff. It's all completely new to me. And as you can probably tell, I kind of have like a crazy new lease of life when it comes to Minecraft, making Hermitcraft episodes. Because, as I say, I got into the studio at 7 o'clock in the morning. It is now 6 o'clock at night and I've done nothing but play on the Hermitcraft server. Which is, yeah, I'd say that's a Saturday well spent. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.